Second Esdras, the 14th chapter. Out of the Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus chapter 14. Slakia, Second Esdras chapter 14, the word. All right, Second Esdras, the 14th chapter. The end of the world, reproof and correction for the last days. So let's go to it. Second Esdras chapter 14 and 1.
The book of Second Esdras chapter 14 and verse 1. And it came to pass, upon the third day I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against me, and said, Esdras, Esdras. And I said, Here I am, Lord, and I stood upon my feet. Then said he unto me, In the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talked with him when my people served in Egypt.
Khan. Now, this is the Lord talking to Ezra, giving the account of how he talked to Moses in the burning bush. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 3 and 6, I believe. Let's start at 6. Let's start at 2. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 3 and verse 2. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. This bush is not an actual fire that's burning. This is Yahweh Shah, right? Known symbolically in the book of Exodus as the angel of the Lord, right? You'll hear him with the angel of the Lord with a proper title given to him. And this account, you got precept? Come. This is the angel of the Lord appearing unto Moses. And in 2nd Esdras chapter 14, it is the exact same account of him appearing unto Ezra. Both of these men are priests. Both of these men are scribes. Both of these men are Levites. Right? Here's a precept. It's the book of Exodus. Right? Chapter 40 and verse 34. Then a cloud covered the tent of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. And Moses was not able to enter into the tent of the congregation, because the cloud abode thereon, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Right? So that was a cloud, which was a chariot. Right? And that was Yahweh Shah out of that chariot, overseeing the children of Israel on all their journeys, right? Precept, right, to the angel of the Lord. Also in the book of Exodus. Let me get that real fast. It's the book of Exodus chapter 23 and verse 20. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way, right, talking about Yahweh Shah, and to bring thee into the place where I prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he would not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Right. My name is in him, meaning that's Yahweh Shah. All right, that's what it means. So it's like when you go to these accounts in the wilderness, you got to remember that is all you're dealing with the Lord. You're dealing with Yahweh Shah. A lot of people believe that Yahweh Shah was made manifest in the book of Matthew, chapter 1 and 1. Right? That's the only account to read about the Lord, but we're even showing you in the Apocrypha the same way that he appeared unto Ezra is the same way that he appeared unto Moses, known as the angel of the Lord, which is an alias given to him for the children of Israel at the time.
This is the book of Exodus chapter 33 and verse 1. And the Lord said unto Moses, Depart and go up hence, thou and the people which thou hast brought up out of the land of Egypt unto the land which I swear unto Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, Unto thy seed I will give it. And I will send an angel before thee, and I will drive out the Canaanites, and the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, the Hevitites, and the Jebusites. Right? So that's another account of the Lord using Yahweh Shah as a weapon of war to move out those 7 nations that were greater than Israel at that time. Right? He used the angel of the Lord. Right? The Lord is a man of war, and all the angels around him as well.
God. You can't bring it up.
Precept. Going to the book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 7. Because Yahweh Shah, he's in the whole book. From Genesis to Revelation. It's the book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 7. Then said I, Lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O Yahweh. So Yahweh Shah, he's in the volume of the book. Again, from Genesis to Revelation. Yahweh Shah, he's in the book of Exodus. We're reading about it right now.
And here's another precept. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 14, and let's start at 18.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 14 and verse 18. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, and upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. And a pillar of the cloud went before their face and stood behind them.
Right, so all throughout the wilderness, you had an enormous chariot the size of like a city, a small city, over the children of Israel that removed and went behind the children of Israel. Right? And you had the lights on the chariot, and it darkened so the Egyptians couldn't see, but the Israelites had light on the other half, and they can see through the light of the chariot. All right? That's what the cloud is all throughout the so-called Old Testament. You got it, Malachi.
Here's the precept on that, because the Lord speaks in similitudes. He speaks in a parabolic form. So when you go into this Bible, you got to get the true understanding of it. Here's the book of Psalms, chapter 104, and verse 3. It says, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flame and fire. Right, so the clouds in the Bible are the chariots of the Most High.
So brothers should understand the point now in 2nd Esdras chapter 14 about this man appearing in the bush. This is the Lord calling unto Ezra, right? Brothers got anything else you want to go back to it? Let's go back to it. 2nd Esdras chapter 14. Let's read 2 again. 2nd Esdras chapter 14 and 2.
The book of 2nd Esdras chapter 14 and verse 2. And I said, here am I, Lord, and I stood upon my feet. Then said he unto me in the bush, I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talked with him when my people served in Egypt. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt, and brought him up to the Mount of Sion, where I held him by me a long season, and told him many wondrous things, and showed him many secrets of the times, and showed him the secrets of the times, lucky, and the end, and commanded him, saying, these words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide.
Right, like people, like we always bring out, a lot of people believe, like they show you in the movie 10 Commandments, that Moses was just up there to get literally 10 Commandments. He was up there 40 days and 40 nights to get 10 Commandments, 2 tables of stone, right? Moses was shown everything up there in the heavens. And that's why he made everything on the earth after a pattern of things in the heavens. You got a precept? Everything that you see in the wilderness when you read about the tabernacle, the candlestick, the showbread, the tongs, the altar, the veil, the holiest of holy, even the tables of the testimony, those same things that Moses made on the earth, they're up there in the third heaven. We're a spitting image of what's in the heavens. We're the sons of God on the earth. You have the sons of God in the heavens. In Daniel the 8th chapter, Daniel even calls the angels saints. So the angels are referred to the saints on the earth. We're the saints in the heavens. The Most High sits on the throne in the heavens. You have the king who's going to sit on the throne on the earth. All right? So we're not niggas. We're not black people. We're a spitting image of the third heaven. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right?
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 9 and verse 9. When I was gone up into the mount and received the tables of stone, even the tables of covenant, which the Lord made with you, then I abode in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. I neither did eat bread nor drink water. So when Moses was getting these breakdowns from the Lord, he wasn't eating, he was fasting, he was on fire, right? He was up 24/7, he was getting the breakdown. And the Lord delivered unto me 2 tables of stone, written with the finger of Yahweh. And on them was written according to all that the words which the Lord spake with you, and the mount out of the midst of the fire, and the day of the assembly. Right? You got the breakdowns from the beginning of time, right? Going into Genesis, the 3rd chapter, the serpent, right? He was knowing all of these things. That we should possess the gates of our enemies in Genesis, right? The end in the midst of times, right? In Genesis, the 49th chapter. He was getting all that on the mount.
And who gave him that on the mount? Yahweh Shai and the angels. Come. Let me get this one. Yeah. Get that one. Then I got one too. Because Yahweh Shai and the angels, they came down and talked to Moses on the mount, and they gave him the tables of stone. The Lord that came with the chariots, we're going to go through that. Now you can say, well, hold on, it don't say that. You went to Deuteronomy 9, it don't say that. Well, that's why you have to go through the precepts. Precept upon precept. We're going to paint the picture What they don't show you in that movie with Charleston Heston or Prince of Egypt, we showing you that Yahweh Shai that you read about in the New Testament with the millions of angels and spaceships, for lack of better terms, came down on Mount Sinai, and they came out the chariot and they dealt with Moses and gave him the tables of stone. That's what it means, written with the finger of God, the strength of the Most High, his right hand, Yahweh Shai. Come on, you got it, Malachi. I got a precept.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 7 and verse 51. Ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears, ye do always resist the Holy Ghost, as your fathers did, so do you. And that's talking about the Israelites, right? Because the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they are rebellious against their God. Here it is, the Most High gave you laws, statutes, and commandments to live by and to abide by, but you despise the counsels of the Most High. And that's why 2/3 of our people are going to get put to death in America. Read on. Verse 52. Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted? And they have slain them with shewed before of the coming of the just one, of whom ye have been now the betrayers and murderers, who have received the law by the dispensation of angels and have not kept it. Right? So we received the law through Yahweh Shai and the angels, right? And through Moses, the mediator. That's how we received the law, statutes, and commandments on Mount Sinai. Right?
That's plain right there. Straight up, he received the law by the angels. Now this Psalm 68 and verse, let's start at 17. Psalms chapter 68 and 17. There's a precept you want to link up, 68, 17, with Acts chapter 7 and 51.
It's the book of Psalms. Right? Chapter 68 and verse 17. The chariots of Yahweh are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai and the holy place.
Read that again.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 68 and verse 17. The chariots of Yahweh are 20,000, even thousands of angels.
Thousands of angels.
The Lord is among them.
Who is among them?
The Lord is among them.
Yahweh Shai. That's what it's talking about. It's not the Most High that got off the throne. Yahweh Shai is among these thousands of angels.
As in Sinai.
Where else?
As in Sinai.
It's like Mount Sinai.
And the holy place.
It's plain. The Lord is among all of these angels like he was on Mount Sinai and the holy place. What you got? Can I get one more real quick? Let's go to Galatians.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and verse 22. It say, but ye are come unto Mount Zion, and to the city of the living power, the heavenly Jerusalem, and to a innumerable company of angels.
Right? Here's another one real quick. I'll read it real quick. Hebrews chapter 2 and 1. It reads, therefore, it's like a Hebrews chapter 2 and 1. Everybody following along? Come. All right, Hebrews chapter 2 and 1. Therefore we ought to give the more earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest at any time we should let them slip. For if the word spoken by angels was steadfast, and every transgression and disobedience received a just recompense or reward. So the word spoken by angels was the word given to Moses by the law. Right? If you broke the law, you would put to death out of the hand of 2 or 3 witnesses. If you kept the law, you were justified.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 8 and verse 3. For every high priest is ordained to offer gifts and sacrifices, whereof it is of necessity that the man have somewhat also to offer. So all priests are required to give offers and sacrifices for themselves, for the nation of Israel, so on and so forth. Right? For if we were on earth, he should not be a priest, seeing that there are priests that offer gifts according to the law, who serve unto the example and shadow of heavenly things, as Moses was admonished of Yahweh when he was about to make the tabernacle. So all the things that the Levites were doing, they were doing in the heavens. Right? They had the tabernacles, they had the mercy seat, they had the offerings being done. The same thing done in the heavens was done on earth. Right? For about to make the tabernacle, for see, saith he, that thou make all things according to the pattern shown to thee in the mount. So Moses had to do everything to a T from what he saw in the heavens. Right? There was no discrepancy. It wasn't an inch off. Everything was done as it was shown in the heavens.
Come on, I got a precept. Let's go to Deuteronomy 33:1. Right? So brothers should understand now that Yahweh Shah was among the thousands of angels in Mount Sinai. This is how he received the law. You think the Lord is going to have tables of stone just fall out the sky? No, the Lord deals with theatrics, right? The Lord has style. You got style, Jake. You got fashion. When you step into a room, hey, you got the music playing. You know, you do your little thing that you do, man. Right? The Lord deals with theatrics, and the Lord deals with wondrous works, man. And this is a mighty thing being done. So it's not a small thing. We kind of snuck the tables of stone to Moses. Kind of here, Moses. Everybody's on the mount. We'll pick them up, take them down real quick. Yeah, everything was glorious with the Most High, because the Most High is glorious, man. Come on, let's get this real quick. Deuteronomy 33:1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 1. And Moses went and spake these words unto all Israel, and he said unto them, I am 120 years old this day.
Let's go to 33.
33, that's right. Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 1. And this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of Yahweh, blessed the children of Israel before his death. He said, the Lord came from Sinai and rose up from Seir unto them. He shined forth from Mount Paran. He came with 10,000 of saints from his right hand, with a fiery law for them.
There you have it. The Lord came to Mount Sinai with thousands of angels with a fiery law. All right. Sometimes when you see the word Lord, you have to know what it's talking about. Right? Sometimes the Lord is speaking about the prophets. You'll see Lord in the Bible. Right? Like the Lord said unto Adam, where art thou? Is that the Most High speaking with a microphone off the third heaven? No, that's the prophets. Sometimes it's an angel. Right? Sometimes it's Yahweh Shah.
Right.
You have to have the discernment on what it's talking about.
Precept. This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 8 and verse 9. And this is after Solomon built the temple. This 1 Kings, chapter 8 and verse 9. There was nothing in the ark save the 2 tables of stone which Moses put there at Horeb, when the Lord made a covenant with the children of Israel, when they came out of the land of Egypt. And it came to pass, when the priests were come out of the holy place, meaning out of the temple, that the cloud filled the house of the Lord. So a cloud, a chariot, appeared in the temple after it was built. Reading on. Verse 11. So that the priests could not stand to minister because of the cloud, for the glory of the Lord had filled the house of the Lord. Right? So that's how holy, that's how righteous it was, that the priests couldn't do their proper office, because it's so glorious in the house of the Lord. Right? And in these chariots. Got it, brother.
Second Esdras chapter 14. Let's read that. These shalt thou hide and these shalt thou declare. Second Esdras 14 and let's read 5.
Second Esdras chapter 14 and verse 5. And told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times.
The secrets of the times are all of the breakdowns. Right? The end of the world, the beginning of the world. Right, Lord?
And the end, and commanded him, saying, these words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide.
Right, he showed him the end. He showed him the second coming of Yahweh Shah. He showed him being in the promised land. He showed him the immortal bodies of the elect, slaves, servants. And he said, these words shalt thou hide, and these shalt thou declare. Right? Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2 and 1. So the Lord will do that, man. The Lord can make things plain, like we're about to read, or he can make things hard. Remember, Moses wrote the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Certain things you read in those first 5 books are plain, right? Like the dimensions of the ark. You'll read about the Lord destroying the earth with a flood. You'll read about genealogies of Shem. Yeah, the rainbow, like the brother said, but certain things are hidden in Genesis. When you read about a serpent, tree of knowledge of good and evil, a tree of life, Jacob seeing a ladder. Those things are hidden to the mortal people with eyes that have not been enlightened, who think those things are literal, but they're revealed to those who have understanding. Habakkuk 2:1.
The book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved.
Right?
And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon table.
Now make it difficult.
Make it plain upon table.
And we say that every day, man. It's plain upon tables, man. Right? Make it plain, because that's what he told Habakkuk. Don't get too deep. Don't make this prophecy when you write it. Don't use all of these things like I told Moses, man. Right? Because when you read Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, it's plain. He transgresses by wine. Who's that? Esau. Right? Woe to him that covetous. That's Esau. That's plain. It's not too deep. Right? Things in Moses, they're plain. Certain things are hidden, like we're going into.
That he may run that readeth it.
So it can be easy for the brother to break it down. You don't want to give a hard message to somebody when this is expedient for people's salvation. Right? You want to tell the brother, get out, the house is on fire. You don't want the brother to use all of these big words, go into the calculations, because they're going to end up dying. Make it plain. They need this message.
For the vision is yet for an appointed time.
And we in that appointed time.
It's the book of Romans chapter 16 and verse 25. Now to him that is of power to establish you according to thy gospel and the preaching of Mashiach Yahushua, according to the revelation of the mystery which was kept secret since the world began. So those same secrets that were kept secret since the world began is all of the prophecies, man, in Genesis, right? Going into in-depth breakdowns that Moses had, it's been kept secret. That's how we know we living in the last days. Brothers going into 2nd Esdras, Daniel, Ezekiel, Isaiah, Revelation, and now these things are being revelated. But now is made manifest and by the scriptures of the prophets, according to the commandment of the everlasting God, made known to all nations for the obedience of faith.
So that's a good precept.
Just to let me back up what the brother is bringing out, right? Because the prophecies are being revealed unto the brothers in these last days. The prophets. This is the book of Amos chapter 3 and verse 7. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto the servants, the prophets. Again, that's plain upon tables. The Most High is revealing the secrets unto the Israelites, right? The Daniel breakdowns, the Revelation breakdowns, right? Genesis to Revelation. Now we have an understanding, as it states in Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. Knowledge shall be increased in the last days.
Right. And a lot of brothers, they apply that scripture only to the so-called white man's technology. That's also talking about the Most High's knowledge. It's going to be increased. There's an entire parable in Ezekiel 47, 3 on down, where the Lord compares the living waters with rising throughout time to the knowledge of the Most High increasing in ages. So that they're the exact same thing.
And this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 15. Right, going back to 2nd Esdras, chapter 14 and verse 6. Right, Yahushua is giving him the mysteries of the end of times, all the dark sayings. Right, we know that was Yahushua, which is Solomon. Right, verse 15 in Wisdom of Solomon 7. Yahweh hath granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given me. Right? So the Most High gave Solomon wisdom beyond what any man on this earth ever had. Right? Gave it as meat to guide a righteous nation. Right? To be a true leader of a nation. Right? Because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom and directeth the wise. For in his hand are both we and our words, all wisdom and knowledge of workmanship. We have given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely to know how the world was made. Right? Solomon could have got deep and showed Esdras how the world was made, how the Most High did this and that, how the angels was formed, all that. But he gave him the small things. Right? He gave him the knowledge of it, but he gave Esdras the small things in the retrospect of it. Right? And the operation of elements, the beginning, ending, and midst of times, the alteration of the turning of the sun and the change of the season. So Solomon knew how everything was going to go down, right? That's why some of these the Proverbs be so deep, right? You feel like it's just a little bit, but you could precept everything in Proverbs. He showed them the ending of times, right? And that's Yahweh Shah showing that to Esdras as well.
Come.
This book is 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 15. And therefore, when it speaketh, be not afraid, for the world is of the end, and the foundation of the earth is understood. Right, so in these latter days, we understanding things from the foundation of the earth. Right, certain prophecies, certain breakdowns. Now we have an understanding of it through the Spirit of the Lord.
This another precept. Genesis, I'll read it. Chapter 18 and verse 17. Outside of 16. And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, now remember, Genesis 18, if you did not know, this is an account of Yahweh Shai and 2 death angels that are appearing unto Abraham. Although it says the word Lord, it's speaking about Yahweh Shai, right? It reads, and the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? And the Most High says that, you know, amongst all of the servants of the Lord, man. And his counsel with the angels, shall I hide from Malachi that which I do? Shall I hide from Uriah and Amos the thing that which I will do? The breakdowns, the mysteries, the prophecies. Because you only reveal secrets to your friends, right? Was not Abraham called a friend of the Lord? He said, shall I hide from Abraham the thing which I do? Right? For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. That's why certain brothers are referred to, like in 1 Corinthians chapter 4 and 1, as stewards, or faithful stewards to the Most High. Because the Most High looks at certain men and he understands that these men are going to have the business, man. These men, look, I'm not going to give these breakdowns and mysteries to a nigga, man. I'm going to give them to a man that's going to get his household in order, get his nation in order, reprove his people. That's why I'm giving the secrets to Abraham. And what was the secret he gave Abraham? That Abraham was going to come back on the earth, man. In that account, in Genesis chapter 18. You know, so those conversations happen every day. Just like the conversation in Job, hast thou tried my servant Job? A lot of brothers think that that's the only time that happens. That happens every day. Have you tried my servant Raphael, Satan? Right, he say he on fire. Right, have you tried my servant Kabash? You know, these things happen in the third heaven. There's a council in the heavens every day, man. Just like men have councils, wise men have councils on the earth every day. You got it. Come.
It's the book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 2. That their hearts might be comforted, being knit together in love, and into all riches of full assurance of understanding, to the acknowledgement of the mystery of Yahweh, and of the Father and of Mashiach Yahweh, in whom are hid all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. So like the brother was going through, right? The Most High God and his beloved Son, they're going to hide all of the mysteries, man, and reveal them to whom they want. Right? If you got clean hands, if you waxing strong in this thing, if you praying, repentant, being on fire, and your spirit was ordained from old, and the Lord going to reveal these things to you. Right? Somebody could break down the curses for 45 minutes and somebody still don't see it. Because the Lord hid that from certain men and certain women out here, man. So it's a blessing to be able to understand who you are, right? The breakdowns, the prophecies, the parables, and everything, man. Come here, Charlotte.
Come here, Charlotte.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 13, and verse 15. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. So the Lord Hamashiach Yahweh said, we blessed to have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Blessed are your eyes, for they see. You see the prophecies. You see we're living in the end times. You see all hell is breaking loose on the earth.
Yeah, it's a blessing to even know you Israel, man. Like the brother said, certain brothers can't get Deuteronomy 28:68. Now that's talking about back then, brother. Yeah, that's meat to that brother, but it's milk to you, man. You know? So let's go back to 2nd Esdras 14. Let's get back in it. So we understand that now that this is the Lord revealing secrets, hidden things, and things that are plain upon tables to Ezra. So let's go back to it, 14 and 6.
2nd Esdras chapter 14 and verse 6. These words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide. And now I say unto thee, that thou lay up in thy heart the signs that I have showed, and the dreams that thou hast seen, and the interpretations which thou hast heard. For thou shalt be taken away from all, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son, and with such as be like thee until the times be ended.
Right, meaning he told him, look, you're going to get the kingdom of heaven. Straight up. Certain men, they just know. The Lord told him, look, you got this, man. Don't worry about all of that. Worrying about, am I going to make it? No, you're going to be with my son, Yahweh Shah, man, at the resurrection. Just like Daniel, right? Let's get that in Daniel 12. You can't tell an average Jake that now, man. They'll look at Malachi, you're going to make it. Or a regular brother, he might, yeah, I'm already good, man. Yeah, he's going to get proud. You know, he might start going back into the world. Yeah, the Lord already said I'm good. You know, start backsliding.
Might start getting money from brothers, filthy lucre.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
The book of Daniel chapter 12 and verse 13. But go thy way to the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in the lot at the end of the days. Right? So that's Daniel being told, you part of the elect. Right? It's just as simple as that. Ain't too deep to that.
Same thing in Revelation 10 and 11, where the Lord told John that thou shalt prophesy again before many nations and peoples and kindreds and tongues. You know? So certain men, you know, 1 Corinthians, let's get 1 Corinthians 14 and 32 real quick. Right? Certain men, they were already told, the Lord told Ezra that in the 8th chapter. He said, the root of wisdom is sealed up from you, a tree of life is planted. And he told him again.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 14 and verse 32. And it reads, and the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets.
Right, so your spirit, if you're a prophet, your spirit is going to always be the spirit of a prophet, no matter what. Right, so he told Ezra, when Ezra's back on the earth in these last days, which he is, Ezra is back on the earth, right? He's still going to be a prophet. Let's go to that Ezra back on earth, 2nd Ezra 16 and 18, I believe. 17. All right. Woe is me, woe is me. Look at 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? So Ezra saw all hell breaking loose. He said, woe is me, who is going to deliver me in those days? What days is he talking about? These days. Why would Ezra say who's going to deliver me in those days in the future if he didn't understand that he would be back on the earth in those days? He should have said, well, who's going to deliver these guys? Who? Lord, what you going to do with these men on the earth? I said, look, I'm going to be in that thing too, man. Lord, you going to take care of me? A lot of our forefathers, when they saw the end of the world, like even in Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, you got it?
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3 and verse 16. It say, when I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble. When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops.
See that? So Habakkuk almost had a stroke. Now, if he checked into the hospital, they would have said, look, you almost had an aneurysm. You had a stroke. And they would have said, you know, what did you see? He would have said, I saw a so-called black man destroying a so-called white man's country. And all the so-called white people, y'all was on fire, burned. And they would have put him in a nut house, man. They would have checked him into your local hospital. So he saw the end of the world, man. He said, my knees was trembling. I was shaking. I wish I was dead in that day. That's what it means that I might rest in the day of trouble. Lord, I don't want to be on the earth in that day, because when you invade the earth with your troops, I don't want to be there. A lot of brothers, you don't know about the day of the Lord, man. Or a lot of brothers believe that the day of the Lord is just going to be, man, get beamed up. All hell break loose, instantly you get beamed up. Right, man, that's not what it's going to be, man. If these men, which are more righteous than us, Habakkuk and Ezra, they're saying who's going to take care of me in those days, and these men was on fire, man. How much more us? Us. That show you got a lot of work to do, man. Yeah, we got a lot more work to do as men, man.
It's the book of Job, chapter 14 and verse 12. And it's Job, right? Before I even get this, let me get Job 1:1, man. Right? Because Job wasn't a nigga, man. It's the book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 1. There was a man in the land of Ur whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Yahweh and eschewed evil. And this is what Job said. It's the book of Job, chapter 14 and verse 12. So man lieth down and riseth not, till the heavens be no more. They shall not awake, nor be raised out of their sleep. O that thou wouldest hide me in the grave, that thou wouldest keep me secret, until thy wrath be past. So Job was perfect, man. And he said, man, look, when you come, I wish you would hide me in the grave until all hell break loose. Right? And all hell break, the fire, the vengeance. Right? It says that thou wouldest hide me in the grave, that thou wouldest keep me secret, until thy wrath be past, that thou wouldest appoint me a set time and remember me. But remember all of the times I kept the commandments. I didn't turn back away. Remember me in the day of your wrath.
This to let me back off what the brother was bringing out. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 1 and verse 35. Your houses will I give to a people that shall come, which not having heard of me, yet shall believe me, to whom I have shown no signs. And who are those people? Those the Israelites living today.
God.
The Lord said he's going to give us that rest. Right? He's going to give us salvation. He's giving us hope. Right? Those are the people who are coming. That's us brothers and sisters out here today, Lord willing. Right? Which I have shown no signs. We didn't see the miracles in Egypt. Right? We didn't see the miracles Yahushua did with our mortal eyes today. Yet they shall do that. I have commanded them. They have seen no prophets, yet they shall call their sins to remembrance. That's what the brother just went into. Job said he's going to remember it. Right? Our sins are being remembered. Right? That goes into Baruch 3. Right? Remembering the sins of our forefathers. Right? All the dead Israelites who can't repent. Right? We're repenting for our forefathers today. Us brothers and sisters have a heavy lot. Right? Our prayers aren't small prayers. Our prayers are really for the whole nation. Right? Because we are our forefathers. Right? They have seen no prophets, yet they shall call their sins to remembrance and acknowledge them. I take to witness the grace of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness, though they have not seen me with their bodily eyes, yet in spirit they believe the thing that I say. And we wouldn't be out here today on the Sabbath, outside going through the Sabbath service. We didn't believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Right? We'd be fools to sit out here if we didn't believe. We'd be fools just wearing fringes if we didn't believe, growing our beards out, showing brotherly love. Right? That's the joy that's coming to us, man. We rejoice to do the commandments. Right? And now, brother, behold what glory, and see the people that coming from the east, unto whom I will give for leaders. Talking about the spirits of prophets unto prophets. I will give to leaders Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Oseas, Amos, Micah, Joel, Abadias, and Jonas. All these men are back on the earth to be leaders in these last days, to set our people in order, to get the nation of Israel set aright, right, to rebuke and reprove. Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Aggai, Zachary, and Malachi, which is also called the angel of the Lord. All these men are here doing the work, being prophets on the earth today.
And you don't know who those men are. You know, and that could be you, brother. You could be Ezra back on the earth, brother. Right? Hey, brother, you could be Zephaniah back on the earth, man. You know? So all of these men are back on the earth to build up the nation of Israel in the last days. From Abraham down to Zacharias the prophet, man. To Haggai. Mighty men to build up the nation of Israel in the last days, man.
And that's 5 cuts to regeneration. Right? That's 5 heavy cuts right there to regeneration.
Yeah, for those who don't believe and understand regeneration. So we back at it. 2nd Esdras chapter 14.
It's the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 14 and verse 9.